Hi, this is Enki35, and I'm making this playlist, and it's called My Thoughts. And what I'm doing with my thoughts, will be adding videos to this playlist just about what I think about certain subjects, like, for instance, let's say the bull god of the Bible. All right, the bull god of the Bible is something I've been watching. One of my I consider him my friend on YouTube, named Truthiracy 3, and I have a few things to say because the whole picture isn't being displayed here. Okay, and yes, Truthiracy 3, Christopher, I'm talking to you. Now, the reason why I'm making these videos for everyone to know is that this is what I've been doing for years, and I have been discussing these gods for years with many people and professors, and on radio shows and all this other stuff. So I mean, this isn't anything new to me. It's new to everybody else that doesn't know me, but I just want to say that I'm going to discuss Truthiracy 3's bull god of the Bible. Or Bible. Okay? He calls it Bible, as if the word B-I-B-L-E means B-I-B-E-L-L. Christopher, when I first subscribed to your channel years ago, I actually thought that it was satire. And that's why I always called you the new Monty Python, because I laughed so hard because I had never heard anyone speak like this before, and I thought it was absolutely hilarious. But anyway, I have been talking with you for a long time now, and I want to discuss something on your bull god, because you say that now you are saying that the Bible is polytheistic and has many gods in it. And I've agreed with you on that. I totally agree. But you are trying to equate the bull god with the God of the Hebrews. And I know how you're doing that. I know how you're trying to display it, but it's coming off incorrectly. And I will explain that to you. I might have to make a couple videos or whatever, but I'm going to go ahead and do it anyway. Now, I never planned on doing this, but the reason why I'm making these videos is because I have people from your channel now coming in, commenting on my comments that I left for you a long time ago on your can you believe in the Bible, or can you trust the Bible, whatever. Well, that's what believe means. Trust, not the lie of the Eve of BeLiEve. Do you realize how that sounds? BeLiEve. Okay, it sounds horrible. It sounds like from hell, let me tell you. So anyway, we all know what believe is. It's meaning to trust or to trust in. So let me go further here. So you've been talking about this bull god of the Bible, and I had made a comment on one of your Can You Trust the Bible series, and I was stating that there was this god that had nothing to do with the people or the Hebrews worshiping Moloch and burning their children to Baal or to Bel or whatever, to Moloch in the fire. And he said that it never came to his mind and that he never wanted that. And this is what it states in the Bible, whether you believe God has a penis or not, but when they represent him as a father, I suppose he does have a penis. So, now, you've been talking lately about, wait, before I go there, so these people were burning their children to the god Moloch, which was a Canaanite god called El, which you're correct, there was a Canaanite El, and he was married to Asherah and all this other stuff. Okay, you're correct there. But the way you're looking at them isn't correct, because even if you go ahead and you say that the Israelites were worshiping the same God and that was their God, no, it is not, because then what is the problem? If the Israelites were worshiping Moloch and burning their children and sacrificing them to him, then why would God be complaining about what they're doing and telling them that it was an abomination in the sight of the Lord and that they're profaning his holy name? And why is it that he said that people that offer their children up to sacrifice would be put to death? This is a really good question. I want you to answer this question, because they weren't supposed to do that, because it wasn't the same God. That God did not order them to do that. It was another God, okay? So they weren't worshiping the one God that was over them, over these people. And they were taking upon the ways of the heathen. So then you bring up the fact that these polytheistic gods, which you're recently mentioning that the Bible is polytheistic, which yes, it does have several gods in there. And then you're saying that that it all equates to one God. How is that possible if it's polytheistic and not one God? Okay? That's incorrect. That is completely incorrect. Then you go ahead and continue to say that the Hebrews' God is a bull god, because Moses, when he went up on top of the mountain, got horns on his head. And you said he received horns on his head, which is the Karen, which you believe had to do with him wearing an animal pelt up on top of the mountain because it was cold. And that actually the representation of the Karen is the crown of horns, or a horn, or glorious dignity. And so why is it then, Truthiracy, that when Moses came down and the people were worshiping the golden calf, and if that was the case, that they were worshiping the golden calf when they came out of Egypt, that he was pissed off? Because if God was a bull god, then why would the God of the Israelites be mad at the fact that they were worshiping the bull? So if that was the case, then why would God get mad? I mean, really. And then Moses ended up going and grinding up the golden calf, and he ended up making the people drink it. So why did he do that if the God of the Hebrews was a bull god? Why don't you ever answer that, you know? The horns on Moses' head didn't mean they were shooting out from his face. They didn't mean that he literally had horns growing out of his head, but he had a crown, because the horns represent power. And I've told you this before. But the way that you're displaying it, you're trying to make it seem like the Bible is just filled with massive inaccuracies, and you go and say that the Bible's 100% truth or it's 100% false. Well, if the Bible is 100% false, then why are you using it to teach? And then if you say that if the Bible, it's either 100% truth or it's 100% false. And in that event, then how is it now that you're saying that there are truths in there? Well, then how, if it's 100% truth or 100% false, and there's truth in it, then what's the lie here? So is this the lie of the Eve of BeLiEve me, you say? BeLiEve me? There's something wrong with that. Because you're trying to break down a word of trust to make it a word of deception. And right there is a huge lie. And that is wrong.